You wouldn't have.
So,
Because I'm not gonna sit up.
I don't know how long we have to do it till 6 o'clock, I suppose. But,
Last year we went 15 whole
just,
minutes.
just remember you're being recorded, so you can converse.
Don't be an idiot.
Say your good stuff.
Okay.
Is there anybody upstairs, Madam Secretary?
So we are gonna send anybody for public hearing to here and then anybody for public comment upstairs.
I guess I missed that myself. I thought everybody was supposed to be upstairs.
Katie's up there. She's got it.
Anybody in this room?
Somebody's got to ask a question. Hey, you didn't change anything, have you? Since this one? Changed anything in there?
In that,
In this one? The one that we got?
The draft.
Don, I don't think I have.
So we took out comments that said pending a meeting, like pending the October board meeting or pending
Okay,
where we could. There is a paragraph that coming out of the last meeting clarifies where we'll be budgetarily with the acceptance, should you choose to accept the additional funding request. And that is on page. By the way, there's an index that is actually accurate.
Thank you.
the page numbers really help.
They do though. Believe it or not, Microsoft and Adobe don't know how to make an index, so they have to hand key.
Oh, that's just.
Heaven forbid.
So there is a new note on page 17, note on impact of administrators recommended additional expense. So and this will be updated yet again today based on some information that some folks in committees have heard, but the full board will hear today about a repair that we're recommending today. It just came up last week, but we can't get ahead of ourselves.
I have to wait till we start a regular meeting to ask this, or is it a fair question I ask if there's any amendments so far?
I would think we wanna hold off on discussion on. Would be my guess.
The reason why I asked that, if somebody would ask, we'd have to give them that answer.
This is the opportunity for the public to come and speak on what was published. Could've brought ice cream.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? DQ blizzards for everybody.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been
Small
spot on.
blizzard.
Pumpkin pie.
That's your child's side.
You like the impact?
That just, yep,
Pumpkin
that's
pie.
just enough. Otherwise-
Otherwise.
I go with the next size and I save the other half in the freezer for the next day.
You're a genius. Okay.
Oh,
You
you
know who
got
gets-
control, let me
You
tell
know who
you.
gets to drive by.
Good idea,
can
Tracy.
only
We're gonna have Thanksgiving party, Tracy.
I know. Pumpkin pie ice cream, blizzard, yum. Let's go.
Good ice cream.
It's so
Careful
yummy.
with lights and sirens.
You know, they do the McCafe now, you know, I saw in one of their things, the pumpkin spice McCafe. Well, that is one letter off from my name. So every time I see it, it's like, oh my gosh, I guess that's, oh my gosh, there I am, you know. So I always feel like they're talking about me. I was like, what would a pumpkin spice magazine look like? And I kind of assumed that would be like crabby, grumpy. That would be a crab apple. I am not a pumpkin spice kind of girl.
Really?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. No, I like pie.
Yeah.
And I like it in soup,
Yes.
but not pumpkin soup. Yeah, baby.
That is.
Curry pumpkin,
That's, I've had that.
curry pumpkin mushroom,
Well, that would be my assumption.
so good. I had a version of,
You like pumpkin ice cream?
I don't think I've ever had pumpkin.
I mean, realistically.
But I think,
You probably have it at the.
yeah,
ice cream
if
place.
you try to make it with coffee, then I get really crabby.
Mark, they had pumpkin
They
pie
changed
on
their
sale,
agenda, so
usually
I'll
they're
get that.
$9.95, some of that Quick Trip, that pumpkin pie until $5.95.
Johnson.
And it's just the right amount of spice and everything, one of the best I've ever had.
It's my machine.
Okay, well, now I have to
Right by
stop,
one of
now I
those,
have to
too.
stop at Quick Trip and GQ on the way
Yeah.
home.
See, I've got-
And then I have to
They're
get
close to
online and
each
buy new
other.
clothes.
You can have your pumpkin pie with your pumpkin pie. Double.
Eat it up.
Oh, the Emily was on.
All the mold.
Yeah.
17.
I think I'll stick to my diet. that I've colored.
Cheers, I'll have.
I really like it.
water.
Yeah.
Started around.
Smart ass comments. Coming to this and they did.
You know, maybe next year, if we're still alive, we should have everybody bring their leftover Halloween candy to the budget meeting,
If they're still alive.
if we're still alive.
Oh, I resigned from the fair.
Probably candy in the.
Look at what you get to be.
You know, but just the leftover, you know, that could be like a disposal methodology. for like,
Back in the morning, you
Let's see,
know.
every morning. That's their pulse, yeah. there's a pulse.
And
Take nothing for granted.
grandson, granddaughter, they.
Well, you can't say nothing, but
Taking my heartbeat in the morning.
Is it gonna matter
Wake
though?
up
I went out there.
rejoin after.
and See how low it is.
It's such a.
Thirty-eight. Yeah. Very slow.
Public comment would
That's a
be.
good
Got that grape pie.
Do you have a hard time standing, like standing up and getting it? That's how you're wired.
Yeah, and that's right. Now I'm rewired with the pain.
Are you really?
Keep it up a little higher.
Barbed wire.
How long have you had that?
That's interesting. I wonder what term, what, you know,
Not slack, but I
Yeah.
love it.
3 times this year.
Right up.
Other business. I wonder, it must have been strange for doctors and stuff to take your pulse and go like.
To even tell, I remember.
What's going on?
because he was able to communicate. He didn't get some-
I always comment.
Our mom,
Just
dad
the
in
Dana
there.
Fry
Living.
Same way.
Oh, that's right.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
I think mine's gone down. since I've been
Better
there.
help us even.
And then all the hills. Like, when I first moved here, the hills.
Because Shelley was there.
It's like about six way forward, going uphill all the time.
All the time. And my garage was downhill from my house. So I remember like, when I was moving in, I would go to Costco. and,
It's nice to
you know,
have, I like it separated
and
until it
then
gets
like
hard.
walking straight up the.
I like.
What have they done?
Yeah.
There's some.
One of us, Louisiana. When-
I think our board meetings are like.
Yeah, it's really entertaining when
Yeah.
there's ice out there.
But
Sit in my living room. and watch people talk. There's a lot of people that just end up back and stuff.
Yeah, sure it is.
Otherwise, it's online.
I never
Yeah.
missed a meeting.
But it gets plowed really quick. School bus route.
One time I.
And they brush up, they clear the sidewalks too. Such a gift. 'cause I have a lot.
2 years in a row now. So it's not that.
They made you one?
Almost every.
Coming back.
Special person you.
I think that
Special
was.
person you.
It goes back. $100 less. than
It's
last
too
year.
wide, too small.
We'll put it on a bigger screen.
As of late, that's been.
268, I think.
I know, you and your head.
It's like this.
Where's your little post-it tag? That's what I did last year.
And he would break into houses.
Yeah, we're just doing the one.
I was on that.
That's an incentive with all that.
So I told my wife.
Yeah.
She told me.
She's a teacher. So she was a problem. I just spoke for like.
I could run my car.
We'll get you on the way back.
St. Croix was terrible.
Seems all the college kids over here, they got the money.
The way we could do this is.
They ain't like it, you it to
Health and
me.
Human Services, so much stuff is mandated.
I see people go by on their bikes. sometimes.
That's
There's a guy today who had the little electric
Gives me a headache.
assist bikes. There's a couple people. There are also
Maybe in 5 years.
two young guys who are just on like a bike or something. and they're just Plowing right up that hill.
Yeah.
And then I saw this guy, this was right at the height of COVID, like when overwhelmed. Slam.
Yeah.
This guy on a Harley, was going, no helmet, going down the hill. Doing this. And I'm like, smashing myself out. I don't even care that much.
I think he already did.
I think he probably already did. But the poor people that the public works guys clean up their brains off the street, and the poor people at
Yeah.
we're already.
Yeah, that works.
You're gonna have bust
And
their
then she just
backsides
encourages.
to try to keep your sorry self alive.
Anything gets better?
Are you kidding me? Like, how old are you? And this person is gray in their hair. You know, there's no excuse.
That address stuff is so pretty. It's like, give the responders.
Yeah,
a
I couldn't
break.
believe my eyes. I thought, what?
Let them put a
What
different
planet
number
are
on your
you
street.
on?
Picking up the park.
You
I
might
can't
have
even
email.
imagine stuff that lives in, I was talking to Sarah about that, you
Everything's
know, the
named.
stuff that he's been seeing with
Like
cars.
Circle Park, and just, and they find them.
You gotta get down to the-
2.5 street, 1 in 7.
He's been at that park. Oh, yeah. Promoting. Acting as like.
Doesn't everybody have a number?
Oh, yeah.
Numbers. They can't use, they all.
So this guy took.
Partridge Lane.
Had a little motorcycle trouble. He pulled over to the side of the road.
The numbers parts?
And she got off of the bike. The car,
There's
light
mapping software
for
for
emergency. The car came along. and got her.
Every company doing
And,
And I just want to ask my.
So we,
We're
And,
way outdated.
so we shouldn't even be having this fight.
I had it, I couldn't find her yet.
Put it in the sheriff's department.
She had put the helmet on.
Actually owned by the.
40 feet across the fence. It was the helmet.
Yeah, whatever works.
A lot of that.
It bothered me.
That,
He lived on that.
In the big one.
His parents
Sweeteners, old F&A.
The guy that turns, they're doing so for 6 everything. The next 8 people.
I was trying to clean it up as best we could last night.
Oh, bless your heart.
Well, I mean, same thing.
Don't tell them not to tell you.
It was,
Is this the
it's not, yeah.
No, they, Jeff sold them. Jeff sold
It
them.
went through though.
You can pick all that up. Picture phone up if you're
But
driving.
you're asking about our policy.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I was
where we
getting
ended up.
up keys.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Like 2 years
I
ago.
was.
I put a more.
Car had stopped and this young guy come over. What's this? What's that? He's a mayor.
Yeah, but.
Does not help.
On the road.
It changes the
life
issue.
is.
Yeah.
It's no better.
You're saying the issue that we had people in the.
These are,
I am.
no, Waiting to hanging around, so I thought I'd shock him a little bit.
So we're changing.
Is it one of those?
Change this one, cause there's two.
I fixed that on my own.
Can't change it.
Amazing thing. Human body.
He's a hockey player. He can do it.
Yeah, I think
But we're not gonna change this because we don't have to.
barbarians, even when I lived on Paulson Lake.
This one, because they came in and said, it doesn't do it.
Yeah, they're still,
They can
they're
change.
still pretty close.
Set up against them.
Yeah, if we screw around with this long enough, the satellite technology will really dial it.
That's what they have.
From what I heard today.
You can hit.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
My nephew's had some. It's like, it's like
There it is.
15 minutes behind, so it, you know.
Yes, we
You
had
park it.
speed meeting, but we
Quick,
got
it's
some
so
points
quick.
items for the
Yeah.
next meeting. I swear that took 20 minutes.
And that's pulled on the satellite.
So it goes by. every-
Yeah, either
Yeah,
status or.
I don't know, page, no, people.
She's
She's
one
one
that
that 2 miles
the
up.
intersection owns it has a documentation of everything.
Because when I type this in the box, that just goes.
Yeah, your boxes are.
So he just went boom, 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 you were right there.
And you're like,
A lot of interesting stuff there with that.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
$800,000 money up there.
So when they can zoom down and see it go.
That's the thing that
That's what
always
people
hit me was,
example.
that's what John was.
Must be terrible.
My mom had
Association
migraines.
and
And her dad had migraines,
get some of
so
that
I
money
got
put
really
back
good at
into the
working on.
care facility.
That's where I got it. I dodged it. I've had one migraine in my life, maybe one or two. I
So
think
before
one.
we all get in trouble, let's close the public hearing so we can just talk about whatever.
My grandpa passed a few months ago.
We have to
He
go
was a
30
police
minutes.
officer.
don't we?
At the camp.
And I'm not mad at the people there, because they're in a situation that they're in.
Gonna close the public hearing.
Okay.
I'll shut the thing off so we can get into real conversation,
See?
You put that on record.
according to Kim anyway.
Really great.
I'll second
That one here.
Call the meeting to order.
You just automatically close the public hearing or?
It's already closed. I did that. You just were talking. No, we closed it some time ago, 15 minutes to at least.
Oh, I heard you say something I didn't know.
Oh, never paid attention like you never do. Need evidence of proper notice.
The Board of Supervisors, November 15th, meeting notice and agenda, November 14th, excuse me, meeting notice and agenda was posted in the Government Center building in 2 places, posted on the county website on November 6th, 2023, and was posted in the new legal newspaper the week of November 6th, 2023, the published date of 11/9. In addition, on Monday, November 6th at 2:18 PM, the Office of the County Clerk distributed copies of such notice of meeting to supervisors and media via email or mail.
How's that sound, Counselor?
Complies with the open meetings law.
Okay. Roll call.
Brad Olson,
Here.
Doug Rowdy,
Here.
Steve Warno,
Here.
Brian Wood,
Here.
Tracy LeBlanc. Here. Dan Ruck,
Here.
Barbara McAfee,
Here.
Jeremy Hall.
Here.
Kim O'Connell,
Here.
Amy Middleton.
Here.
Jay Luke,
Here,
Denise Lallier Prey,
excused.
Russ Arkand,
Here.
CJ Simmons, John Bonaprise.
Here.
That is 13 of 15.
Join me, please, with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Move to accept the agenda as presented. Is there any addition?
Motion made And seconded by Amy. Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor? Oh, same sign. Matters offered for adoption on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
I'm with the, okay,
I'll second it.
motion made and seconded. I assume that the correction in the minutes was this thing.
Yeah, it was just the.
Okay.
Different handout, but the.
All
minutes are
right.
good.
Any public
Do we
comment?
need to vote on that?
All in favor.
Well, I thought that we did. I was, all right, all in favor,
I don't mean to.
opposed, same sign. Public comment. Anybody up there?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have some public comment this evening.
Okay,
Who starts the?
go ahead. We'll give you 3 minutes per person.
Is the slide still going? How do we know?
Just introduce yourselves.
I'm Sarah Rank. I'm from Limitless Ranch, which is just east of Luck. We're a therapeutic riding program for everyone. And I had multiple people attend the first annual Hoof Beats on the Gandy. So I wanted to say thank you that you guys were a part in that happening. I sadly was not there. I was out of town because my father is sick and was in Arizona. But the really neat thing is because the Gandy is so safe, I was able to feel very comfortable letting a good handful of my students go without me. And it was a wonderful day. They had a really good time. Met lots of people on the trail, enjoyed showing the horses to people. And all around, it was just a really good experience for them. We're really looking forward to doing it again and being able to share that great area with other local people in our communities. Thanks.
Hello, and my name is David Graham. I am the president of Rock Ridge Retreat in Milltown. We have my retreat that's operated out of my ranch. And like Sarah, I'd like to express our gratitude for thanking you for giving us the opportunity to hold this event. It was a really good time. Everybody, as you saw in the photos there, had a really good time, lots of smiles, and a really good time. One quick bullet for my retreat. We give equine assisted activities to veterans and first responders in the immediate area, Polk County and other counties. And so we would really appreciate the opportunity to do this again and conduct other equine events on the Gandy. It was a great day, big turnout, 28 horses, and everybody had a great time. The weather didn't cooperate with us so much. It started raining on us, of course, in the afternoon. At 3 o'clock, the rains came in. But a good time was had by all. And I just wanted to express my gratitude and thank you for giving us the opportunity to use the Gandy for equine assisted activities. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
I'm Paulette Adair. I'm from Luck. I just wanted to add to their comments that it was a wonderful day. We appreciate the opportunity. And we would like to make sure that you know Pub 35 hosted our event there. There was ample parking for our trailers, easy in and out, and easy access to the Gandy. They were very happy to have us there and invited us back for next year. And again, there was no complications and we had a wonderful time. And thank you to anyone who was involved in getting us the special permit for the event. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
That's everyone, Mr. Chair.
That's it? Okay. Moving on, then we'll go to the resolutions. What's your pleasure? Resolution 4423.
Got a first and a second, and then we could have discussion about it.
Right.
Make a motion.
That's the move on resolution 4423.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Hold on.
Aye. Oh, you got some,
Yeah, we just need to update. I'll let Claire
oh, okay.
put the slides up on board and normally we did a lot of
But I
the.
thought we were gonna go a little quicker.
last
He's
month. But this year we've had a unique circumstance come up and I wanted to bring it to your attention because we are recommending another additional funding request. Claire, there you go, right there. What you see there is the CISA building that houses CISA 11 and Northwood Tech. Picture on the left is what the roof should look like, but because of some membrane shrinkage, it has pulled back that flashing there and it's been inspected and it does need to be repaired. So we presented this to general government earlier this week and upon their recommendation, we are suggesting that we move up $500,000 from our general fund into the 2024 budget to cover the expense. So as Mo has explained to me, we will patch it up this fall and winter so that no damage is done. And then we'll do the work starting in the springtime or summer when we can get the bids out and get the cost. If you go to the next slide there, you'll see actually the one before that, Claire. This is what was discussed last month, provisionally approved additional funding request, came out to about 1.2 million. Most of which would be coming from the surplus, we would say, from the 2022 budget year. And now with this change, you can see the next slide. It's 1.725 million. And what that means to us, if you recall, our surplus in 2022 was about 5.5 million. And based on our rules, that would mean that about, the money available to us to spend if we have projects would be 2.7 million or so. But if you go to the next page, Claire, you'll see here, this is a recalculation of that general fund balance. With this additional $500,000, the proposed updated unencumbered balance would be about 6.8 million. So we're well within our guidelines and our rules. I will say this, when we always, people are saying, why are we keeping this money? It's just like any savings account. If we don't have it, then when these things come up, we're scrambling. And now we have the luxury, we can use that money in a way that is fiscally responsible and get it taken care of. Just so you know, this roof repair was in our CIP. You're always guessing, estimating when it's going to happen. And people like me are always saying, can we put it off another year? Can we put it off? But in this case, it kind of spoke to us and said it needs to be done. So that's what we'll be doing with your approval of this budget, of course.
What's the percentage of that? That 68 is what? Is that our 50% yet? Do we have
No,
to add up to it?
that's 6.8 million is 6.8 million above the 50%.
It's above it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we're not, we're 6.8 million from reaching that level.
the 50%. Okay.
And in general government, we talked about too, that if we're gonna move up a CIP project from 2025 into 2024, that the CIP budget would be reduced by 500,000 in 2025. Just moving it.
Net neutral over a 2-year period.
Right.
Okay, over 2 years.
Yep.
Okay,
That's why we recommended it.
is that cost pretty close? You think?
Yes.
Because that other roof got way out of hand,
Yes, no, it's
quite a bit smaller.
smaller, a lot smaller than that roof.
40-year warranty with no leaks in 6 weeks?
That will be a multi-layered roof also
Okay,
versus the membrane that's on there currently that's shrunk.
okay.
Any other comments? Questions? That's all you have?
That's all I have. And then, of course, you have the resolution, which you can discuss, or if you have any questions, let me know.
Right.
Or approve.
Does this
Resolution
need
is
a
on the
motion
board with
to
discussion.
get put on? So how should we word it? I'll make a motion to add the 500,000 on the Cecil roof. Is that what we need? And to the budget? As
Second.
presented.
Motion made and seconded
Okay.
to add the 500,000 to the budget. 2024, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
So now you can address the underlying resolution. Just a note, we did amend two references to 2023 and fix those to 2024. That was just an oversight. So that's been fixed. So no need to amend if you also notice that yourselves.
Any other changes, additions, questions? Well, Brad, where have you been?
So two amendments, we'll start with the easy one. I move to amend resolution 4423 to add an amendment, be it further resolved that appropriations made to the 2024 budget may not be expended or dispersed unless and until a new MOU is entered into by the Fair Society and the county.
So this deals exclusively to the fair.
Monies that are appropriate.
Everybody understand that?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion?
Can we just get a layman's terms explanation of that?
So it doesn't take the money out of the budget. It simply says the
Yeah.
county will not expend the funds unless an MOU is agreed to.
The fund specifically for the fair? Or
Yeah.
The fair funds.
Any other questions in reference to that? All the question, all in favor? Opposed, same sign. You have another one?
I do have another one. Motion to defund CJCC in its entirety.
I'll second that just for discussion purposes.
So since our last meeting, it has been made, I've been made aware that the health department is looking out, passing out fentanyl testing strips. And so I guess I just look at this and say, if we're gonna pass out fentanyl testing strips, help our drug addicted individuals in the county stay on drugs, what are we spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for trying to get people off of drugs in this county? It just seems like an oxymoron that on one hand, we're saying go to CJCC, and now on the other hand, we're gonna say, hey, the health department will help you do illegal drugs better. Safer, test them, get a test strip, test them for fentanyl. But the only thing we find fentanyl in is cocaine, meth, heroin. I just think it's a bad message to send. It admits that the test strips are not 100% bulletproof as far as testing them. And I just don't think we need to be headed down the road of San Francisco, Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington. We need to help these individuals. We don't need to help keep them on drugs. This is, to my estimation, this is like taking an alcoholic to a bar, setting the bar full of alcohol and saying, just go ahead, we're gonna help you get over this addiction. To me, it's absolutely crazy that we're thinking about going down this road. And I realize it's the governor and the Wisconsin Health Department that's pushing this. That does not need to mean that, does not mean that Polk County needs to be involved in something that's going to, in my estimation, keep people on drugs longer rather than helping them get off of it. I mean, just imagine your child or your grandchild coming home and saying, hey, the Polk County Health Department was at school today, showed us all the bad things that can happen if we're on drugs. But oh yeah, by the way, if you want to get on heroin, cocaine, meth, come see us. We can help you do it slower and safer. And to me, that's all this says. And I think it's just either we have to do one or the other as far as I'm concerned. Why are we spending money keeping people on drugs and spending money trying to get people off of drugs? We need to help people get off of drugs, not help them stay on drugs.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
could we ask Sheriff Walker his comment?
I was gonna mention that.
He made a real nice present, which I think it just helped us understand this at our public protection.
Sure. You could address that?
Certainly, I mentioned this at the committee meeting at the
Yeah.
first of the month. Yeah, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services is pushing this to have it where we assist people in their drug addiction, where they can test the illegal drugs so that they can know they're safe. And I don't think there is a safe way to use illegal drugs. So I just wanted to make it very clear that as a law enforcement representative, I'm adamantly against this. I think this is going backwards in our fight and your priorities on the board over there to combat substance abuse. So that's the position of law enforcement, at least for me. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Addiction is an illness. And that's what science says. It's not a failure of character. It's not something that you need to just buck up. It's an illness. And our systems haven't figured that out yet, in my opinion. What I understand is the point is not to support people in staying in encouraging them to use drugs, to keep them alive long enough that they may be able to find their way to recovery. Because fentanyl is so deadly. And now there's something called carfentanil that I am just learning about. That is 100 times more deadly than fentanyl. And so to me, it's not saying, yes, go use, we love that you're using. It's to give people an opportunity to stay alive long enough to find their way to recovery. And we all know people who've had to go to rehab, have tried to get clean multiple times. If they're dead, they can't do that. They can't return to society. They can't make amends to their families. So to me, I feel like this is like saying, if we don't let people if we don't give them this opportunity, we're condoning their use. And I think what we're doing is condoning them staying alive.
So I just want to, as a point of order, the motion is to defund the CJCC, which has absolutely no impact on fentanyl strips. And I think this is a fantastic policy debate. But right now, fentanyl testing strips is not on the floor. What we need to be discussing as a board, based upon the open meetings law, is whether defunding the CJCC is something that this board would like to entertain for purposes of the 2024 budget.
Then we should have stopped this conversation right when it started.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Moving along, any other
Just a
motions?
second, withdraw.
Second, withdrawal.
You seconded it. in the
Yes.
first place. Gotcha. All right. The motion is off the floor. Any other motions to the budget? Go ahead,
Do
Kim.
we have to, on page 17 on on your update, do we have to change anything? For your, I asked you that,
Yeah,
right away,
so-
what was changed?
Thank you. So this paragraph, this book was sent out last Wednesday before we learned about the roof. So there will be an adjustment to that paragraph based on the additional funding request, $500,000 that you just approved. So that paragraph and the numbers in it will change.
All right, so we don't need a motion to change that. That's,
No,
this other one should have reflected.
it should, but I'm not counsel.
Would-
This is just the book. Yes, so we will change the book
Reprinted tomorrow with all
With the change, so that would be in the change
if I could.
that we don't have to change it again. So those numbers will keep us up to the right numbers. Okay, that's, all right. I just didn't want to miss it if you had to change it.
Any other questions or?
But I should make
Just-
one friendly amendment.
Go ahead.
We don't change the book until it's ready to be the final printing is actually in December, but we will change the book. It just, you won't get another version until the December version comes out and
Okay,
it will be correct.
but the numbers will all be
Yes,
updated. Okay, that was the
Absolutely
only
so.
thing that it's wherever they're changed, they'll be updated.
correct.
So that works for you. Okay.
Any questions or any other motions? Or questions in reference to the budget amendment or resolution? 4423 is on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor of 4423
Yes,
Do
amended.
As-
we need a roll call vote on the?
as an amended? We'll do this by roll call.
Yes.
Doug Rowdy,
Yes.
Steve Mordo,
Yes.
Ryan Wood,
Yes.
Tracy LeBlanc,
Yes.
Dan Ruck,
Yes.
Barbara McAfee,
Yes.
Jeremy Hall,
Yes.
Kim O'Connell,
Yes.
Amy Middleton,
Yes.
Russ Arkand,
Yes.
John Bonaprise,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
and Jay Luke.
Yes. Resolution 4423. Now for consideration, need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve
I'll second.
and seconded.
Okay, resolution 4523
Right.
and 4623 are connected. They deal with a Johnstown tower lease for radio tower. And basically, this two things that happened. One of the resolutions cleans up the language around the lease and our budget so that the money does go to the sheriff's department where it was originally intended. Currently now, it kind of goes into our general fund and it snakes its way around. So we're just making sure these funds are dedicated to the sheriff's department. And then 4623, if I could just speak to it, it's the same thing. Because Verizon has added some equipment to that tower, they have increased their payment for the monthly lease has gone up $100. So we need approval for that.
Okay, a motion, any more discussion on 44 or 4523? First, that's the one that's on the floor. I have a vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Now in resolution C, you've already been apprised of what the conditions are of that resolution and the purpose of 4623.
A motion to
Motion to
approve it. Yeah.
make it, need a second?
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion on that? Hopefully not. All in favor? Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed, same sign. Presentations regarding expense reimbursement forms. I would assume you're gonna do that.
That's me. I'll try to make this fast. So I'm not gonna talk about really when you should turn in reimbursements, but I'm gonna talk about how you turn in reimbursements. So I provided everybody a nice pink highlighted copy. So the pink highlighted parts are the parts that everybody should be filling out when they're turning in reimbursements. That includes your name at the top, your employee number. If you don't know it, you can talk to me or pretty much any staff can look it up for you. And then each item should be on a separate line. So mileage should be on one line, per diem should be on the other line. I grayed out, and so I did update these copies and they're in the mail room if you need a paper copy. I grayed out the account number because I'll fill that in, or admin can fill that in when it comes in. So you guys don't have to worry about knowing what account numbers it's going to. We'll do that when we get it. So you'll just need the date, what it is for, the miles, and then at what it is. So it's usually it's the 65.5 cents. That's the IRS rate. So we go by that. We do update these when that rate changes. Those will be found in the mailroom. Also, if there's any updates, and then the amount will go here. This is per diems for any lodging. Typically, as supervisors, you guys go through my office and make any lodging arrangements for you. So you typically won't have anything in there, but if you do need help filling that out, you can always ask us. And then your signature and date at the bottom. So any questions on that? Yes.
And then you need to also attach your agenda.
Yes, I mean, there's some that we have the agendas for. I know Supervisor Bonaprise does a lot of stuff through our office. So we usually have those already, so we know what's going on, but especially if they're ones that we don't see very often, for sure attach the agenda and then we send it up to finance from there. Yes.
The per diem line, do we need to put anything in there? It's obviously a per diem if we went to a meeting, right?
Yes. I don't fill that in, so typically they're $100, but there are a few committees that are not. I think Veteran Services is one that's less. That's why I'm not saying what you're filling out, just how, because it really depends on your committee on what the reimbursement is. So whatever the per diem amount is, you need to go on there. Because some people, I mean, there might be a supervisor that doesn't want the per diem, just wants the mileage or vice versa. We can't make that inference. We go by only what is on this piece of paper and turned in. We won't add anything, subtract anything. This is, when we get it, this is the final copy.
That goes to payroll.
And then we send it to finance.
All right, or finance. And then somewhere along the line, you get a disbursement
Yes.
into some account.
Yes.
You have no idea what that disbursement's for.
And you'll forget by the time it gets there.
Correct. So would it be possible to send a copy of this when the disbursement is made to whatever account you designated? Could we get a copy of this sent to it through the mail so that we know when the disbursement is there, what it's for?
Typically, if it gets sent in, I think it's every 2 weeks of the normal payroll. That would be an HR question. I'm not sure when that goes out. I just accept these.
I see.
So just for a point of order,
Yeah.
should we try to do that so it's monthly, so you don't do one at the end of the year and have it 6 pages long?
Yeah.
I mean, for bookkeeping purposes.
For 60 days, I think.
Yeah, these are only good for 60 days. per
60 days,
order, I
it says
believe.
on them.
Okay,
Yep.
You-
I've
Any
never
that are
filled it
back
out, so
further
I
than
don't know.
60 days won't go
You what?
through.
I've never filled it out. I don't.
So
think the per diem
I have two
time-
questions.
I haven't
So
either.
on meetings, you have meeting X and you put in the miles, then meeting X, you put in the per diem?
Yep.
Two separate lines.
2 separate.
And then the next question I have is,
That's too
when
long,
can
too.
we ever have this electronically? There should be a way for us to just pop in, file these electronically and just be done with it.
Just so you're aware, even like as employees, when we're filling out a reimbursement, let's say we go to a conference, we do it on paper and then we do it in an Excel and we do it on another thing, and it takes an act of Congress to sort of process it. So at some point that has to, I think we're looking at new systems. But right now, this is where we're
Well,
at.
someday it would be great if we could just
It's
go
more of
online.
a
'cause
finance.
It's so ridiculous to take a, it's,
But like our programs are not talking to each other, you know, so it's,
yeah, okay.
I mean, between HR and I think it's not a fault of staff or anything.
No,
It's-
I figured it was us trying to
And
catch up.
this never counts for county board and the 5 standing committees. The clerk's office always puts in reimbursement for the committee meetings that happen here that we're at.
It's automatic.
Yes, yep, we put those in automatically. After every
And
meeting.
mileage, of course, is separate.
We put in mileage for every meeting that people attend in person for the 5 standing committees and county board.
Okay, that's, okay. But is that paid in the same reimbursement? Because that's not taxable for one thing.
That's all the finance stuff. That's,
Okay.
it's a different codes for different things and they have all that squared away.
Hmm.
We put it under certain codes when it's non-exempt and when it isn't.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anything else?
We don't add nothing up. All we do is put in the PM
Well, then
mileage.
there's the totals at the bottom, but we can figure out the totals. That's fine. It's not me, so I can do that one.
Try to figure out when that comes through.
Any other questions on reimbursement form?
Well, we'll straighten out the other part by another means. Okay,
Okay.
that's it.
Well,
Any other
that's
questions on
one.
that?
Yep, elections is next. Claire, if you want to pull that up.
Did you have anything else?
Not for reimbursements, but I got the next one too.
Well, you do.
I have the next 2.
You're still a
She's got
county
them all.
clerk. Okay,
got 'em all.
regarding elections. What
I'm
do
the
you
only
got-
presenter tonight. You're stuck with me.
what have you got about elections?
So, with 2024 gearing up, I just kind of want to let the board know some things that are going through with elections, just because it's gonna affect all of you guys as well. What we've been doing in the county clerk's office, we've reached out to, the schools. I've gone to 5 different classes so far and talked to, students. Been trying to get some poll worker help, because there's 16, 17-year-olds who are able to volunteer at polls. So we've been reaching out about elections, just kind of people don't know who their representatives are, kids aren't super interested in that. And we talk about why they would maybe affect them in their future and like who votes on what and when. Just kind of some election basics and get some kids involved in that. I did so far 3, but there's a 4th one scheduled, municipal clerk training. This year I opened it up to poll workers and chief election inspectors as well. So far, there's been about 90 people that have attended, and it's actually 40 will be attending in November for the 4th one. So that's been really fun, trying to get everybody on the same page. Our responsibility is to train the municipal clerks, and from there, it's the municipal clerk's responsibility to train the chief election inspectors and the poll workers. But sometimes having more than one set of ears at any training is helpful, so we opened it up to anybody that was an election official that wanted to come in and do that. We had a couple different meetings with different groups that are just interested in elections. And then I also had a separate meeting with just the municipal clerks on some litigation and updates legislation that's going to be going through. And then just as of today, we've been working with a school district with one weird boundary line where it's in one school district, but it's 2 completely empty parcels that are wastewater treatment. It's just a ballot mess when we have to program for 2 different school districts when there's nobody that lives there. So I've been working with the school districts and the DPI to get that straightened out. So there's a couple of things. Go ahead, Claire, if you would. So a couple of new things that are coming through. We've had the absentee envelopes are changing. You'll see those for anybody that does an absentee ballot. It used to be all on one. Now they separated out regular absentees, special voting deputies, and military are 3 separate ballots, 3 different colors. So I have 40,000 envelopes that are going to be coming to my office to distribute to the municipalities whenever they are finished getting printed. Actually, there was a miscommunication on the order I placed, which ended up being a blessing in disguise because WEC, Wisconsin Elections, had kind of posted the wrong one on their website. So they got that fixed, and then I was able to approve it, and these should be coming really soon. There's a lot of new legislation going through. If anybody watched the assembly floor meeting I think it was last week, there's a lot of election bills coming through that changes some absentee dates. It changes observer procedures, possible additional reports coming through an election night, just a whole bunch of elections thing that you'll be seeing, I'm sure, on the news if anybody watches that. And then the other interesting thing we had actually was the Washington State. They had a couple of envelopes come to them that had a weird substance, and 2 of which tested positive for fentanyl. So we are recommending to municipal clerks to open ballots and envelopes with gloves, which we will offer to provide also. So lovely things going on in elections. Any questions on those things? Okay, Claire, go ahead.
You want to go on with the next?
Yeah, I'll just
issue?
keep going. Oh, and then a truly partisan office. This is just a little different. It's a little bit different now. Register and treasurer, I feel like this is just kind of a personal thing. Don't make as many political decisions. And I would say before 2020, it didn't seem like the clerk's office did either. Everything was just done by the state, and it was just, we were just an extension of the state and the rules of order here. But now, things are changing a little bit, and there's election decisions and choices that are becoming a little bit more political. So it's definitely been a challenge kind of navigating those different things. It's created a little bit of a division. I don't know if anybody's seen that in the news, that everything's political now. So it's just something new kind of to our office that we're navigating. Okay, Claire, go ahead. So the most important stuff for you guys, I have a list of all of the deadlines for anybody that is running or maybe not running for supervisor position next year. Go ahead, Claire. So December 1st, this is the day that you can start circulating your nomination papers. And then anybody that is not seeking re-election has to have their notification of non-candidacy to my office by December 22nd. This is because if there's somebody in your district that would maybe be interested in running, but saying, hey, I already like the supervisor we have, they may not want to run. It's a notification to them saying, hey, I'm not running, just in case they would maybe like to. So that's the reason we do that notification of non-candidacy. If you postpone and go later than that date, it actually extends the deadline of people getting in their papers. So if anybody's not interested in running, please get that to me as soon as practicable. January 2nd is a 5 PM deadline. I will be here until 5 o'clock, just to make sure if anybody has any stragglers, that's the deadline for turning in those nomination papers, your candidacy papers, all of those things. I have these forms, I have entire packets in my office ready to go. These can also be found online at the wisconsinelection.gov website, which I have here too. But I have them, so if you guys want to stop and get them whenever, you're more than welcome. And then we will be posting on the website, anybody that has completed their paperwork, we'll be posting it, and for sure weekly, if not more, if we get a lot of people coming in. We're hoping to get those updated as quickly as possible, so the public can always keep an eye on who's running in which seats. And we will be verifying all the paperwork, and then you'll get an email when everything's been accepted, when we verify your signatures on your papers. It is 20 signatures right now for county board supervisors, but we do recommend getting at least 25 to 30, just in case there's a couple that aren't actually in your district, not residents, that kind of thing. Having that little bit of buffer for your signatures. So, any questions on that? Yes.
Could you send it out for us?
I'll have them right here, so if you
Okay.
want to grab one on your way out, you can. Just don't forget, you can't actually start circulating for signatures until that December 1st mark.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, that's it. That's all I got.
Mr. Chair,
Yep, go ahead.
I think procedurally, I think we need to go back. Supervisor Olson made a motion that was seconded and he withdrew, and I don't think you can just withdraw a motion on your own. It's
He
up
did
to-
withdraw it.
I know he did, but
The
he can't,
second one.
he can't do that on his own. That's up, once it's seconded, that belongs to the meeting. He can't just withdraw and then the discussion's over.
The point of order should have been made at that point in time. Now the budget is already passed, so unless you did a motion to reconsider based on that, which you certainly could do.
Boy, we've been doing that wrong for years. If the motion is withdrawn and the second withdraws his agreement, it's off the table. Anyway,
It's not a big deal. I just think it was something that should have been, it's at least just pointing out that it should have been addressed at the time, because I think it was used for a different purpose.
okay. We we'll take the legal advice and move on. Have no confirmations to indicate about, so we'll move on to Vince, do you have any?
I have none.
You have none? I have nothing to report that is of interest today. Might be in a week from now. Okay, now, Vince, do you have anything?
Yes, and before I say some things, I would like to yield the floor to Sheriff Walk, who has an exciting bit of news to share.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wanna like
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. So I just wanted to share our success this week. A team of my investigators flew out to Arizona. And we had a homicide back in December of 1985.
Yeah.
And yesterday, an arrest was made in that case out in Arizona. So I'm just excited to share that news. There's been a lot of press inquiries. We don't want to comment a lot about the case because it is an ongoing case. We did search warrants out there. And as well as we don't want to give up any information ahead of time that could compromise the case. But really, since I've been around Polk County, which is about 1995, Yvonne Minke's homicide has been a big talk of the community. And so about 2 years ago, one of my investigators really wanted to take a deep look into this case. And we also had a special deputy come on board to help us with that. And as this case goes on, we'll probably learn who those people are. But it really is a testament to the staff at the sheriff's office, how they are committed to working cold cases. And it's really exciting to be able to have this news. The press so far has been pretty favorable. So I'm excited just to share that, and I thank you for the opportunity. And that is the press release that we sent out this morning. So, thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I would just got personal with me.
What?
I would like to reaffirm the appreciation for Polk County's work on this case. it was
Oh, it's not-
pretty personal to me that see Bob Menke worked for my aunt at business in St. Croix.
These names are familiar. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. I don't have anything as exciting as that. Hats off to the sheriff's department and for the people who helped bring this case to the open close. I'm here because, as you know, this is my last board meeting. I wanted to come up, it's not the typical administrator's report because I want to say something I think is very important. Because as the last meeting of any official capacity for me, I just want to thank the entire board, all of you. Have made my time here very special. Specifically, I want to do a special thanks to Chairman Luke for his guidance and support, as well as the committee chairs who've done an outstanding job of providing leadership to the committees and to this county government. I also want to give a special thanks to former Supervisor Chris Nelson, who actually was the first person who initially recruited me to get me to consider this position. And then Andrea Jarrick, who actually sold me on the job and said that this job could be a lot of fun. And I can tell you that as serving as the county administrator these past 4 years, it has been extremely rewarding and very fun. And that's all because of you, the people I work with, the staff, everyone. When I joined the county 4 years ago, my goals were pretty simple. They consisted of 3 things. 1, do no harm. 2, improve the job satisfaction and efficiencies of the government workforce to ensure that our important services continue to be delivered as needed. And 3rd, I wanted to accomplish a few big things that could have a positive impact on future generations. Others can judge if these goals were met. But what I can absolutely say that anything good that did happen these past 4 years has been accomplished not because of me, but because of the collective teamwork of the supervisors, the staff, and the engaged citizens. We did some very good work. We had some important initiatives such as the enhanced parks and trails, our rapid growth in the high-speed internet, and our ability to focus on long-term goals as we have listed here on our board. Those are things that couldn't have happened without a lot of good people. And in particular, I just want to highlight my senior staff. And I believe everything that I've seen is they are the best in the state. And they led this organization, and we all work together to make some good things happen. Now, my first 37 years in business was in the private sector. I was certainly unsure what working in the public sector would be like. What I discovered was that there are many hardworking and caring people. These are people who all want to give back to their county. This is especially true of our elected officials such as Sheriff Walk, Giovanna Lundeen, and all the others who've been elected. They sacrifice and they give a lot to serve this county. The other thing I learned is the genius of the American democracy. You think, how does that affect Polk County? Well, the democracy that was created back in 1776 works. It's, you know, people always say democracy can be messy. Having worked with each of you, I can assure you that it is. And we would all agree. However, as long as we have local citizens and people who are dedicated and they believe in their causes and they're willing to engage, on top of that, the checks and balances in our system, whether it be the press, whether it be the different organizations or different levels of the government. Those are the things that help us find a path forward that works. As a history buff, I can tell you that I used to teach a little bit substitute teaching, and I always had fun talking a little bit of history with the kids. And the genius of our system of government is certainly evident, even at the local government level. 2 other people deserving recognition. One are Tammy Peterson, my administrative assistant. Without her, I would have failed miserably on day 1 and many times after that. She was a great help to me and helped me every day. Also, a special recognition and a thank you goes to my wife, Luann, who's been my rock in her support. And now she has to endure me a lot more. Finally, congratulations to Mo Norby. As the next county administrator, he's going to do a terrific job. His experience in council have been very valuable to me for the past 4 years, and I know he's going to demonstrate more great leadership going forward. So sorry you had to endure this long speech, but I wanted to say thanks. Keep up the good work.
You think maybe you still look at the situation as still working with the kids?
That's right.
So, one question, it is budget night. Are we paying you for another month? You're gonna skip the meeting? You're gonna skip the
That's such a
last meeting of the
Kimmel
year?
That was your decision, not his.
I think it was you. Thank you very much.
Okay, we still got a party to present coming up too, don't forget this. Okay, any supervisors have any announcements or reports from a meeting that might have attended? That would be of interest.
Mr. Chair, I have something.
Go right ahead.
I went to the West Cap board meeting last night and you'll be getting a video that was made about one of their projects from River Falls. It's a green building for a low-income folk. And so it's been getting lots of national attention. And I'm gonna send it to Tanya and she's gonna send it around. It's just a few minutes, but it kind of highlights what's possible when you sort of connect affordable housing and sustainable green building. So they're doing a lot of other projects, but this one's getting lots of attention. And I thought, given that housing is one of our priorities, it would be helpful to sort of see the great leadership that's happening right here, that's getting national attention as a way to sort of get our thinking tweaked in a good way.
Very good, thank you. That's a
Mr. Chair,
admirable cause. Go ahead and see.
Amy and I met with the new negotiation people from the fair. Came up with a few word changes that we'll be bringing to the December meeting. Their meeting is tonight. They should either adopt it or not adopt it, so we'll know ahead of time. And we'll be bringing those changes to the December meeting and discussing them with you and showing them to you.
Are they all included
See,
in
we
this
have-
one, Steve?
Oh, did they
actually
get a
have
copy
it.
of it? Great.
Yeah. So it's the blue is the only ones that are the minor changes.
They were very minor,
Yeah.
right? Okay, well, we've got a copy and,
Okay, sounds good.
okay,
Way ahead of me.
thanks for your efforts, both of you. That was well done. Okay, anybody else have anything?
Those 5 resolutions that the General Assembly passed at the state convention, they all, before the full legislature votes, they all go to the committee. And the important thing is, the chair sometimes doesn't let things go out of the committee. Today, Amy, our chair, of Human Services. You know, Golden Age Manor is appropriated about, the appropriate for this year is 74,000. Last year was 930 some. And Dana said that the report from the committee is they're not changing the allocation. She's sure they're gonna do some changes in the 25. But I guess, Amy, you could try and say that she's pretty sure she's gonna stay afloat for another year with, she did find out that per resident per month, they have a higher allocation. She's gonna gain some money there. And she's working on about, I thought, 3 or 4 other things that she's gonna try and make it. And it was pretty reassuring meeting.
She's doing a good job.
But I keep in touch with the legislatures, either Senator Stafford or Jay McAfee, and they usually, both of them usually have their associates call me, so I'm trying to stay on top of those 5 resolutions.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your efforts on that, that's for sure. Anybody else? Need a
Move
motion
to
to
adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Man.